Hello. No, sir. Sure. Sure.
Mrs. Vanitha, we can start the meeting. Principal ma'am and director sir will join later. Since it's getting late, we will start, ma.
Okay. A very warm welcome to all. On behalf of management, principal, director, faculty members and students of Tasim Bibi Abdul Qadir College for Women and Department of Computer Science, I welcome you all for attending the workshop on text analytics using Python Natural Language Toolkit, NLTK. Let's begin the program by seeking the blessing of the God Almighty with a prayer. Now I call upon Ms. S. Farhana, 2nd BSc Computer Science, DBAKC, to grace the occasion with a prayer. Over to you, Ms. Farhana.
Good evening to everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay,
You are
ma'am.
audible, Farhana.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amin. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful, praise is to be Allah, Lord of the universe, the most gracious, the most merciful, Master of the day of judgment. It is you we worship, and upon you we were called for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not of those against whom there is anger, nor of those who are misguided. Sadaqallahul Alim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Thank you, Ms. S. Farhana. Now I would like to call upon Dr. P. Senthil Kumari, Head in Charge, Department of Computer Science, DBAKC, to deliver welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mrs. Vanita. A very good evening to all of you present here. It gives me immense pleasure to address you all on this one-day workshop on text analytics using Python Natural Language Toolkit. On behalf of Department of Computer Science and Research Center, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude to our management, Principal Ma'am Dr. S. Sumaya, and Director Sir Dr. M.S. Irfan Ahmed for giving me this opportunity to deliver welcome address. According to David Ogilvy, if you are trying to persuade people to do something or buy something, you should use their language, the language they use every day, the language in which they think. We try to write in the vernacular. Natural language processing is the branch of artificial intelligence concerned with giving computers the ability to understand text and spoken words in much the same way human beings can. I would like to welcome our resource person, Dr. Anandavalli Muniyasamy. I welcome you, ma'am. She is currently working as an associate professor at the College of Computer Science, King Khalid University, Saudi Arabia. She has completed MCA in our college itself in the batch of 95 to 98. Her areas of interest are data mining, machine learning, and soft computing. She has published more than 30 research publications in highly reputed international journals and book chapters. She had attended and presented in more than 25 national and international conferences. She served as a principal investigator for the funded project from All India Council for Technical Education and served as a manuscript reviewer for renowned international journals for past 15 years. I welcome you, ma'am, for this one-day workshop. I would like to extend my warm welcome to all faculty members, students, and research scholars from various institutions. I welcome you one and all who present here. Over to Mrs. Vanita, ma'am. On behalf of Computer Science Department, I welcome our Honorable Principal, ma'am, to deliver presidential address.
Hello. On behalf of the Department of Computer Science and Research Center, I deem it a great honor and proud privilege to be a part of this workshop on text analytics. Adding one more feather to its cap that the Department of Computer Science and Research Center Director Professor Irfan Ahmed and Dr. Senthil Kumari, head in charge of the Department of Computer Science and Research Center. I am very happy that our alumna from King Khalid University has come over as a resource person for this workshop on text analytics. I thank the organizers and faculty members, students of the department that the emerging areas have been identified in the right time to deliberate on, to learn from the experienced faculty from overseas, as well as I'm very happy that even out of the working hours, the department is taking more efforts to organize such workshop for the benefit of the faculty and students is remarkable. I hope that this will continue to further know and explore and dwell the areas which we can work for the research, and students have to play an important role in these areas which are very, very emerging, and in the recent trends, they are going to occupy a very big place for data analytics. So really, I am happy. Thank all of you, and I think that this workshop will kindle the young minds and faculty members who are in research. Thank you one and all. Thank you, Dr. Anandavalli, for having come together to organize this workshop for the benefit of the participants and my faculty and students of Tasim Bibi Abdul Qadir College for Women. Thank you one and all.
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And then good evening, Principal Madam. How are you actually?
Yeah, we are doing well.
Yeah,
I'm also seeing you. After a long time, I think you have to switch on your video for a while. Then we can, because I know that there will be disturbances if you put both together.
Yeah.
Anyway, we wish to hear from you. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now request our Honorable Director, Dr. M.S. Irfan Ahmed, Director, Research, Industrial Institute Relations, to deliver the keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Anita ma'am, I think Sarah is not available. You can go to the next event.
Okay. May I now call upon our resource person, Dr. M. Anandavalli, to start presentation. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you for the presenter as well as who is comparing now. And then it's my great pleasure and honor to be here for this nice session. Even just I told Dr. Senthil, like it should be a small presentation with a one-day workshop. He asked about 2-3 days, but even then, after seeing that like a large number of people to just participate in this workshop, I'm really appreciate the efforts of Dr. Senthil. And then I think after a long period, I'm just communicating with the base. I mean the where I just started my the master program. And after that, like it's a long journey, and then I just end up here now. Still, I'm just here for last 10 to 11 years here. And in between, like Senthil called, and then we just have a talk with having a nice presentation. So today's workshop is going well in the sense in future maybe we can expect more knowledge sharing between you guys and me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and in between, like I have to thank the principal madam and even her busy schedule. Maybe she just honor me with her talk, and then it's quite good. And yes, so shall we start now?
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Yes.
Okay, so can you share, or you can see my PPT screen here because I shared my screen already. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, I have to say, we can just divide this workshop into like a two part. The first part, I'm just going to cover like maybe 10 to 15 minutes, the basic concepts of what do you mean by this natural language processing along with the text analytics. After that, we will just go to that simple programming techniques, which are very important and basic for doing this text analytics in NLTK. Okay. Because why I just started, maybe I'm seeing senior people are there, maybe some teachers are there, but even then I just saw some students and their names. So it is better to start with the some theoretical part, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Later on, I will just move on to the programming side. Is it okay? Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So here, the agenda or the topics what we are going to cover today, I list out here. So the main thing, like what do you mean by NLP and NLTK, and then what are the tasks involved in this NLTP, and then we can just end with the simple use cases currently what is actually trending in the research area. I will just touch those points also. So coming to that exact, what do you mean by this text analytics? As we people know that we are just having like very like a social media persons. All of us actually, what having lots of like information connected through this social networking. So once this social network is actually what going through, we are just having actually the huge millions and trillions of text data. So these data are just what having the structure in nature, some kind of like maybe the 20% of the text data the collected from social medias are nearly like unstructured in like nature, and then something actually about like we can say structured format. So latest survey, they are just saying that they are having like 80% of the data, whatever just covered from this, is just having this very like highly complex unstructured format in nature. So if the social media like the Twitter and Instagram and then Facebook, all these kind of thing, maybe for the naive users, these media's text may be like some text information, something not useful for them. But for the corporate people or for that the people who are really just to promote certain kind of businesses in the social media area, they have to just to focus on like they have to capture the insights what is available in these messages. So this scenario like leads to the text analytics on the top of that trending research now. And moreover, what this text analytics is actually really involved, it is just what having like a transformation of this your unstructured data to that meaningful and at the same time some structured format. And we can just say the text analytics is a confluence of like four main domain like NLP. And the NLP covers, as you see in this diagram, machine learning and some rule-based grammars, which are very tightly packed and trending research areas also. Another thing like from the mathematical domain, the statistics involves and it plays a very important role in this text analytics. Third part is like your information retrieval. The information retrieval mainly focused on like the text documents, which are related to the social media and various the private government documents. Even in healthcare, so many documentations are available, which are just having huge, but the resultant or the insight of the data is actually very less. So those domains are also need more people to just work on this one. And another part of that is actually linguistics actually. In this case, like the general the science that people are covering, like the computation, what is the psychology or the emotional study and the study of languages, these people actually what having the real domain of their knowledge as well as the language in different category. Like English language, Arabic language, and then like Tamil, like so many languages they are just focusing on, and their corpus is already ready for that. So to in order to cooperate all these like the statistic and then I mean the NLP, IR and linguistics, we need actually one of the very simple facility or the technique that is actually called text analytics. And while we see this pipeline, text line, I think the text analytics pipeline, first it starts with actually the data sources. The data sources in the sense as we, the computer science student, you maybe the researchers, we usually focused on that like the table kind of data, or sometimes like CSV data. But even in the CSV data, we are having like structured way is also there, and the spreadsheet kind of data is also there. But while we consider this a text document in the form of like a CSV is there, like a comma separated file, you already know that. In that actually the cases, the main thing is actually like complete English paragraph and so many words and sentences, and nothing is actually formatted. That's a kind of data which is very complex and unstructured data. And then we just move on to like the two important part. That is, first one is a preliminary formatting. It's just having like maybe you have millions of documents and the text documents in one corpus. But I don't want to focus on like all the documents or the text files present over there. I want to just focus on only like a few documents and few columns, few rows. That's kind of a preliminary formatting we can just focus on. And next further step is actually important part. That's the covers like text processing basic operations. So like stemming, I can go for tokenization, stop word removal. These things we will see in the coming slides. And these three parts, the middle part is the basic operation. So if I'm just trying to do this kind of basic operations, what is the effect on the text documents? In the text documents, as I told, like it is like a very complex structure having so many words. Some kind of words like they are saying according to the survey, like 20% only useful meaning, and remaining 80% they don't have meaning at all. So this kind of structure if I'm having, and if you just think over about the big data kind of thing, then we are just going to create a matrix from this text. That's the ultimate target. So while you are just considering this, all these words without this stemming and token and other thing, the size of that your matrix, I mean the dimension of the matrix will be very huge. In that situation, even if you just go for like a high level server and high level like the processing technique, it will take much time for doing that result. So that certain basic operations like all these things will be done. And on that like pre-processed data, we can apply here some advanced analytics. That is the thing we have given here. This part carries advanced analytics, I think, you know guys, yeah, because we have like text analytics is there. Along with that, I mean the algorithms based on text. And then the next part, machine learning. For example, the classification, clustering, the kind of thing I can just go for with the pre-processed data. So that will lead to us this advanced analytic part of this text analytics pipeline. So the end story of this text analytics pipeline will be the visualization. So the visualization, we can just based on that, sometimes the people will produce a corpus or a word cloud or histograms or the line chart based on the count, something they are just going to do for this. So we can just keep in mind like this is the framework for your text analytics pipeline. Whatever just text you take, like the basic steps we have to do in our text analytics pipeline. Okay. And coming to that NLP, what do you mean by that NLP? As you know that yeah, in the initial stage they told that also it's like part of your computer science domain as well as belonging to the artificial category, because it's mostly like connected with the human languages. And human language here in the sense like how your computer will understand, that's a question will rise. So in this case, like we are like making the machine to learn this language through some techniques. So like if you just talk about this linguistic analysis, here I mentioned this word here. Because now so many universities like Stanford and then like in the UK universities are also so many things going on. They are creating their own corpus, understand? Like own corpus means they are just making their own dictionary, kind of thing. For example, if you are just take your Google search engine, understand? So in the Google search engine, if you just type one single keyword on that search engine, what is happening? It's just showing or listing out so many like I mean the web links for us. And then how it is doing this job, how it is just what picking that like the particular link which is linked with your text. So you just think about the background processing of that. So even the single keyword, it is just going and checking the corpus available for the Google search engine, because the Google company, they made a very big the big corpus. That corpus actually like corpus means here like the kind of the words and its dictionary, everything will be there. So whatever just word you just what pick it out, or you are just typing over there, it is just giving some meaning to you. Somewhere else something, it is just taking the data and then it is just giving the answer for you. This is one best example for this natural language processing. Even not only here like the English keyword, even if you just type the Tamil or just what like other languages, it is just understanding that language. According to that language, it is just picking that information. Also, if you just take the best example of that, the Google Translator, understand the Google and the translate.google.com, they are also even any like the source language and the destination language, you can just what give it. But how this actually the machine is understanding, or that your web internet is understanding this meaning, what you are typing, what is the user text, is totally depends upon this natural language processing. So if you see this diagram here, so the base for your NLP is a text. It may be anything. It may be just like a simple sentence or email text information, some just the text books, wherever you have this text information, all will be there. What it is actually doing that, it is just doing that like some pre-processing here will be done also, like the parsing and then the referencing, extraction of meaning and integration of the data, like the big database will be created for us at the end story. So that big database is actually called here the knowledge base, understand the knowledge base. And here it is just giving that like you just imagine it is like a dictionary. It's just having all the words and its respective meaning in the dictionary format. So like at the end product, once your knowledge base is ready here, I can just go for like a different process which is applicable for our example, the Google. Okay. So because even if you just imagine about like 10 years back or the 15-20 years back, we don't have that much like the facility available in your Google. Even like it will support only one language, that's the English language. And after that actually we cannot do much on that. But now we are just what you have like so many natural languages have been generated as a corpus. And then the language translation is also doing by the machine. I'm not going to translate anything. I copy paste something from the text of any language. It may be converted to any source language, whatever just available in our development application. The Google is an example, Google Translator. Okay. And another like the operations kind of the basic machine learning based operations, I can use this knowledge base like this one summarization of the text. The best example I can go for nowadays the people are working on, they are taking the complete book, okay, the one textbook they are taking that, and the summarization, because nowadays the young generation, they don't want to learn that what or read anything from the textbook. They want simple version, either the PPT or something the Google search, something keywords they want it, they pick up and then they will write the exam. Some kind of motivation is actually going on with the young generation. Particularly the reading habit is actually like vanishing nowadays. So the people of our generation, they are working on this kind of research projects. Even like 5,000, 6,000 the papers work, the text work will be just summarized within 1 page or 2 page. So if I just read that 2 pages, I can able to understand what is the summary or what is the concept present in that textbook. It's possible nowadays. That's a kind of like summary and then summarization of the textbook, classification of the textbook, kind of things are going on here. Okay. And one thing I want to just say that if there is any doubt and all, maybe end of the session you can ask me. I mean, after this PPT presentation, you can ask me before going to the programming. Okay? Yeah? Fine. And are you with me? Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Okay, fine. So coming to this NLTK. So first part, we can go for like what are the main source for that? The first thing is raw text sometimes, or it can be like something annotated text. Raw text, your normal text you are having. What do you mean by this annotated text? It's a kind of text like sometimes the people are using abbreviations of the big form U.S.A. Okay, and sometimes the text involves some just underlined text, circled text, maybe just available in your normal social media. How your system will understand this kind of annotated text also. Another research is going on. And most important tools of this NLTK, the first one is the POS, we can say part of speech taggers, POS tagging. And another part is like a named entity with the semantic analysis. So part POS, it's a kind of like you are taking the text and that text will be like matched with the language grammatical information. And I mean like you can go for like what is this text. This text is whether it is a verb or noun or pronoun, and the kind of English grammatical will come. And after that named entity here, it should be a kind of in the text, certain words are like a kind of subjects will be there, like the name of the person and the building, some just country names, kind of things are there. So the people focus on only those important entity on the text. Then they start with the research. And based on this, so many people, they created their own corpus. For example, WordNet, Treebanks, and then Brown, and then Treebank corpus. So many like the corpus, the banks, if you just hear the word, that implies this kind of a corpus, like the corpus, the universities have been created, and it is available open source for the further research development also. And now we are coming to the main part of our thing, that is a task. I will just list out this 7 tasks with a simple example. So first we start with the tokenization. As you know that this tokenization, we are just taking the text. It may be the single sentence or a simple paragraph, whatever it is. The end product of your the tokenization will be the single tokens. So the tokens can have meaning or sometimes don't have the meaning, or it can cover some special characters also. So it will just give the particular the structure for your text. That's why, because our aim is how I can just process the text. I have to convert this text, entire text, into some like the matrix dimensional data. So that we need to just like separate what are that like all the keywords. Yes. Yes, all the key. Okay. So all the keywords are present over there. We will just consider as a tokens in this part. So the second step here, we can go for the frequency calculations. Like we will just take that one single word, how many times it is just present in the particular text. So the frequency will just leads to the weightage of that word, how much it is important in a particular text paragraph or that the text information file. So the end of, I mean, the final output of this step will be the bag of words vector. I just put it here, the bag of words vector, because even if you just give the complete paragraph, the end thing is like your vector. It's kind of a list will be there. The list is a list of words present in your text. Okay. And the third process we can go for stemming, understand. So the stemming, basically it will just take that one particular text and then it will try to like cut off or chop some like the end, I mean the suffix from that entire text information. But sometimes the like the result of stemming will lead to the incorrect meanings or sometimes the spellings also. Here the people mostly focus on this the Lancaster, and then another one is a Porter stemming. Lancaster actually, like after the stemming process, it just try to give like maybe the attached word ing, en. I think the kind of you see this example, ing has been cut down here, and then e is cut down here. Without checking the meaning of that word, it just chop off that certain characters from the string. And the latest one, the people more working on the support stemming, and here it will just what at least try to preserve the the basic meaning of the word. Okay, so it's more or less like a updated version. Like even if you are just giving that ing form, maybe it will try to make it as a perfect word. Sometimes, not most of the time. Okay, and yeah. So the next part is lemmatization. It's like a little bit like similar to stemming process, but what is the speciality? It will just to try to give the meaningful, I think, exact meaning of that word, the root word. For example, if I'm just going to give that a hatting is my the text here, and after just a lemmatization, it's try to give that actually the original keyword hate is there. But for the stemming process, if I'm just going to cut this ing word, and then we will just end with the hat. So this is a totally different meaning. This is a hate, and then this is actually hate. So the text informations are totally different. While you are just going to use this particular keyword in your research analysis, maybe it will lead to some other misunderstanding of the information. So that the lemmatization is very, very important while we are going for the NLTK process. So here also I just list out some important, even if you just see that after chopping that or stemming this end part, we just end with a chong. It's like some Chinese name, but original keyword is like a change. Okay, lemmatization. And coming to the stop words, as you all know that in any text, whatever just making the perfect meaning of that text, we need some kind of supportive words. So these words, maybe while you are reading that, it will give the meaning for you, but take it separately, it won't give any meaning to us, or it's not having some insights for some decision making process. So that it is better to remove this one, the stop words also. Here I just put some example, and in this case, all that stop words, even the special, the punctuation characters, everything will be just removed here, and every single token will be just given as a endpoint here. Then the sixth step, usually people will go for this POS, like a part of speech tagging. Whatever just a token we have come with the last 5 steps, this step will just try to give the meaning, the grammatical, the language grammar for this the token. For this example, I want an early upgrade. That's important here. So each of the the token is just connected to that. What is the grammatical meaning of this? The language-based, the definition and its context will be attached with that. So that is a final output of the parts of speech tagging. And while you are just executing this program in Python, we just see some kind of these keys NB, some just the abbreviation of this respective English definition will be produced as an output of your program also. Okay, and the last part is your named entity recognition. So the named entity here, as we said, we have so many tokens, fine. Within the tokens, sometimes we need to focus on certain named entity. Even in the searching process, it may be required. For example, if you just open this Google and search engine, and there you just type this Trump, T-R-U-M-P, Trump, the ex-president of US. So this guy, if you, because we know that Trump means actually it's a name, okay? It's not mentioned I'm not just typing that it's a US, ex-US president, something like that. We don't go. Just to type a Trump, most of the document, it just leads to this the ex-president documentation is related information will be just displayed for us. Why is this actually what is happening? Because the Trump is a simple name, one name, maybe it's internationally, so many persons are available, but the kind of text is actually playing very important role, and it is just given and it is stored as a named entity in the Google corpus. So that's why whenever just we are typing this Trump in the case, even it is a part of the word, we are just end up with that actually like Trump information, the president information, and all his related thing. What is his company, where he worked for, what he done, so many things. His day-to-day activities are also linked with that because of this the named entity concept. Understand? Okay. So here, if you just to take this example, one of the sentences here, maybe like we just framed it as a text. After just applying this named entity recognition, our text will be just extracted. Each one will be just given some special meaning to that. For example, Manhattan is the location place, and then Adam is a person, and is a named entity, and then we work, it's a company name, and then some other sometimes the date, and then like some money value. Everything will be just considered as a named entity here. Okay. And these are like some of the use cases we can proceed for that. If you see this, all these domain, like even insurance, life science, retail, media, healthcare, financial institution, government, manufacturers, everywhere, wherever you have to just to find out something related to the text, then go for actually text analytics. So the text analytics along with this, like the other trending domain like machine learning and other part, like they are coming with a very nice like a knowledge base. That knowledge base is just more useful for any kind of a decision making process. Okay. So here I am ending my text information. Is there any doubt or anything query from your side? Clear, hopefully, yeah.
Audience, you can ask your queries.
Okay. So it's fine for all of you, yeah? And moving on to that. Yeah, is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's visible.
So I think I'm not boring you guys, yeah? Yes? Hopefully. Okay. Fine. So coming to the same topic, just what I'm just going to do how we can just implement these topics in our Python programming with the NLTK. Here, I just open this program in Google Collaborator. You can do that actually the same thing, like if you just install your the Python programming, and I mean the Python prompt, you just to do that concept, the same like installation you have to just proceed for that. For example, here I shared one screen here. Usually just in the Python prompt, you just to go for this connecting with this pip, install your NLTK, and then you proceed for import that NLTK and then download it, whatever just a document you want for, and the entire screen will be available for you. What I am sharing here, I think I am sharing the right one. And minute. So this is the one I'm talking about. Okay, I'll close this one. Yeah. So if you are just working on normal Python and you want to just work on this system prompt, you can proceed with this PIP like install and NLTK. Okay. And if you want to work on this Jupyter notebook or kind of Google Collaborator you are working on, you can proceed with this import NLTK and then NLTK.download. This downloader will just open you one pop-up window, and in the pop-up window you can just select all these packages, and then you just put your download, and then the NLTK packages will be added for you. So once you just done this process, you can proceed with the testing of your installation, whether it's just working fine or not. So from this NLTK corpus, you can just import this brown, because I told you, like people are working on and creating more corpus. For example, here nltk.corpus is available for you as a ready-made one. And from this here, this example, they like imported brown bag of words. I mean the corpus or dictionary, and you can just print that words. You can just be able to see this text information. So this is the way you can install this Python NLTK in the normal mode. Okay. But for today's thing, I want to just focus on this Google Collaborator, because okay, because like some of this execution will just while you are downloading with the normal prompt mode, it will take time. It's not good for the presentation. Okay, while you are doing your like a standalone programming, you can work with that and then enjoy with that downloading. But for the presentation purpose, we need with something should be very fast. Okay, so that's why I just open it in the Google like a collaborator.research.google.com. I think most of the people you already know this idea. Yeah, so I'm sharing that now, switching on to my main program. Okay, 1 minute. Is it clear? Yeah. So let's start with our NLTK here. So the first one, I just try to downloaded some packages which are necessary for this text analytics. The first one, as you know that import with the NLTK is the first topic. And then next I needed like a kind of punctuations library. Okay. So here this punctuation will try to remove all that stop words, not stop words, special characters from your text. Okay. And the next part we need it for our like the WordNet, which is able to create that the tokens. Okay. The special tokens, whatever available in our text. Okay. Download with the WordNet. And next we move on to that. You just match with my concept of the theory in the PPT. Okay, and the punctuations, and then we can create this tokens. And the next one is we have to remove that stop words, isn't it? So for that we need to have this one more package, that is the stop words. And another library I just downloaded. This is called maximum entropy with like the chunker. Okay, I mean like if you are going for some summarization or some just classification kind of thing, we need this actually the chunker file. So it will just divide into small tokens for the classifications. Okay, and another part I need your normal the words separations. Okay, so these are the important packages currently I need it for showing all these NLTK pipeline process. Okay. And the first part tokenization, here we are just going to like have the two things. First one is a word tokenization, and another one is a sentence tokenization. Okay, we can do two things are possible for us. So for this one, you first, I think most of you know or aware, I don't know exactly, but the thing is, for this one, NLTK, the tokenization process, the exact keyword is usually there. If you just go for like dragging this particular keyword, you can just be able to see that what is the meaning and what is the format for all these things will be just projected for you. Understand? It's the easy way the collaborator has arranged for us. It's like the open source available for you online for the researching purpose to do very fast execution. And we have the text information, and after that we are going for once you just call this tokenization package and give your text, maybe you can just pass your text file also, and then once you just take that, then you just print your tokenized text. Here I have just given the output, but what is the output after just running this program? Even if you just see the green color symbol here, that implies that this is successfully executed. Okay, so here we got this single keyword from this particular sentence, because God is great, I won a lottery. So this is the text we have given, and these text is actually separated as a single tokens, considering all that components present in your text. Either it will be the string or it will be the specialized character. For example, you can see here like the dot is there, as well as your exclamatory symbol is there, and then you are having your like normal text is also there. So like the entire every part has been just tokenized. I mean like partitioned or separated into a single components. Okay, and next one we can move on to sentence tokenization. For example, we will take the same the text I'm just taking here. For this one, the same. God is great, and I won a lottery. But what kind of tokenization actually the library we are using for a sentence tokenization? Instead of word tokenization, you can call for this SENT tokenize. Okay, so this symbol. And once you just print it, it will just to try to give that the sentences present in that. As in our example, we have 2 sentences. So we are just end up with that 2 output. That is actually God is great is the first sentence, and I won a lottery is a second sentence. So 2 things we have done for this. So this is a kind of a sentence tokenization. The package is very important for that. Okay. And the third part, like how you can just implement this third step of our text part, finding the frequency distinct in the text. Okay, same example, but the packages are a little bit different. So the first part from the NLTK, we just call for this probability. Okay, and because the count and then mean, average kind of thing, if you want to take, I need this probability. So this frequency distribution is belonging to this probability section area. So that we are just having this NLTK with probability, and the import of what I want here is a frequency distribution calculation function here. So call it, and you just pass the same text here. And what do you want from this one? You first tokenize it, because raw text we cannot just give it to the frequency count. It will not do anything on that. The input for this the frequency counter will be the tokens. That's why we are just calling this word tokenize what we saw in the first step, the output. Okay, that output is just we consider as a token, and that token will be used for your frequency distribution count. Understand? Okay, so what is the output we are just ultimately getting here? If you just see this output, this area, like a frequency count of everything. Okay, so it's just counting this special character as well as the individual tokens, all these things, and the respective counter. And I mean the right part, you are having this the count number for this. So the frequency count is very important in certain extent, because it is just giving that the weightage of the word, which is very important, because if the word is used again and again, that means that particular text is focusing more on that particular keyword. So that's why the frequency distribution is the most applicable the operations in most of the text analytics. And move on to the stemming process. Here we talk about 2 stemming process. Yeah, the first one is the Lancaster, and the second one is the Porter stemmer. So we will just look over into that. For this one, we directly call this name, because NLTK.stem. So this is the package, and this from this library I can just call this Porter stemmer directly. Okay, So the porter stemmer, already you know the meaning of that, and we are just the passing that the text for simple text. I just done that. Waiting is the keyword. We are passing for that. So after just stemming this process, we are just getting that the exact. I mean, like without it is just chopping this the last. I mean the suffix part of this word ing. But even then, like it is trying to give that without compromising the meaning of the word, it is just giving the result for us. Okay, so the weight is there here. Fine. And another part, like we can go for one more example. The list of words here. So sometimes if you just give that more than one keywords, okay. So for example, waited and then waiting and then waits, 3 different forms of the same text is given. In that situation, I can put it into that the for looping condition, and for that each of that we can just the PST same porter stemmer we are just trying to apply for this, and this word like all that 3 words are just taken as the input, and it is trying to give that the normal word for that. So we are just getting that even for all that like the 3 text. We end with this the right part of that one is the output, exact output. Wait is actually what like the normal keyword. We can get it from this stemming process. Okay, and another stemming I told you like the old pattern, that is the Lancaster stemmer. This is also from the stem package. I can just try to import it, and yes, call this function, and you can just take that input like here we have taken that 4 keywords. Yeah, the giving, given, and gave. So after applying this one, anyway, we have to put it in the for looping condition, read that every single word, and then apply this like Lancaster stemmer, and then like print that the result of that process. Okay. So here we have giving with you just see this one, the output here. All these actually having the normal meaning, but after stemming process, it is just try to just chop up that I stem of the whatever just a suffix there. It's to try to remove that. Sometimes it is just taking that 3 letters, or sometimes it is taking the 2 letters at the based on the length of that I mean the word. Okay, so in this case it is just trying to take like a minimum 3 characters from each of the string, I mean each of the token. So if this is a scenario, if you are just going to apply in your normal text, then what will happen? We are not going to end up with the correct meaning of the word in your process, I mean the process to token. So most of the people are trying to avoid this use of this Lancaster stemmer. Okay, so the people will just go for like the porter stemmer for their application. Even in future, if you just try to do some research on that, you can proceed with this like a porter stemmer in place of Lancaster stemmer. Okay, and lemmatization, yeah, this is actually like a very strong process. Already we know that, and it's just similar to that stemming, but try to keep or preserve the root or the base value of that text always. So from the stemming, the packages, we are just importing this word net lemmatizer. Okay, so this is the keyword, and these keyword we will just call it for that, store it here, and just for like pass your input, or sometimes the text tokens like the array of values, you can just fill it over here. Okay, and usually just it will just try to give that output. If you see here, the rock is our input, understand, rocks. And here what is the base word for that, because it is in the plural form. Even then after like lemmatization, it is just trying to remove that yes, and then like it is just going to give that the original form of that word what we passed for that. And the second information here, another example, corpora. Corpora is actually the plural form of your the corpus keyword. Corpus is the bag of words, understand. So here it is just trying to give that the original meaning of the word. So ultimate like the target or the aim of this lemmatization process, because if you just recall that text analytics pipeline, in the middle we just have this stemming and then tokenization, some stop word. That is actually basic operations. But while you're just moving on to this the lemmatization, we are in the the 50% of our pipeline, yeah, on that range. So there we need to have that the words which are having really original meaning. That's why this lemmatization will just try to give, whether it is a singular, plural, whatever, like a kind of thing, whatever tokens in different shape or different forms, it just to try to give it actually original form. Okay, so this is then one example, lemmatization process. And next one, we can just move on to that the stop words. So why we have to do this stop words and other things in our thing? The main the motivation here is the output of this entire analytical process will be the vector, I mean the list of words. If I'm just going to read like one textbook which is just having the millions of words, in that situations it is very just difficult to have keep it in one the matrix with the multiple dimensions, so very difficult. So that's why we try to avoid all these things. And coming to the stop words, here first call for the tokenization, we need the tokens, and then we can just from the corpus, I'm just going to call this stop words. So the stop words, we are just going to pass what kind of language you are using, that, understand? So here we are just focusing on the English language, so you just pass it as a English, okay? And then we just given one input text, okay? So many countries and some date and informations are there, and make it as a tokens, individual tokens, and these individual tokens can be converted into some lowercase always, because this is also a very important part of the text processing. All the text, all the tokens will be just written into small text, I mean the lowercase of the form, and then print it, and just to call for this stop words. And these stop words will just to try to match with your the language what you passed here, okay? And whatever just according to that language will be just what given as a stop word will be just removed from that part, okay? So that's done. And so from this actually, this is our text input, and the output what we are just trying to get is we are having this stop words was on in to be just removed from that part, okay? And another one is the POS part. The POS, we said you just read these names actually here, NLTK is one of the kind of based on POS. Another one, the people are using Spazy and text blob, mainly useful for this big data kind of storage. Then Stanford Core NLP, this is another the standard library. The people are having more the text information along with that. The prepared corpus is available. So if you are proposing some model or proposing some algorithm, you can just use this one as a standard, I mean the benchmark for your research. So these taggers, we can use it also in your research, because no need to search for a certain kind of the text resources for you. You can just take it from there, apply your the new models, and you try to come up with the best solutions for that. So the part of speech here, yeah, here we need that punctuation, and then we just try to download one average perceptron tagger. So why I need that? Sometimes your text may be just having this millions of words, understand? So if I'm just going to match it with this kind of average perceptron tagger, it's just to try to minimize the content present for me, okay? So here you can use it, but it is not much advanced in this example, understand? Suppose if you are using the text file, maybe it's just working more importance for that. So here we just have this complete input text, and yes, as usual, go for this tokenization, and then next call for this post actually hyphen tag of this tokens, understand? So for that inputted tokens, it's try to give that what is the part of that the speech, I mean the English grammatical thing, the definition of that particular word in the English way, like it is a noun or pronoun, adjectives, adverbs, the kind of a thing it will be just trying to show our result. For example, here we got this result you see that it's just taking that token, And at the end of the token, like we have this single quotation, some the abbreviated format is there. In the example PPT, I told you the noun is there, and then sometimes the two means two is there, and verbs will be there, determinator is there, and adjectives. The kind of you can just see this one. The second component of your the each parenthesized strings will be just showing that you are the POS part. Okay. And next part, yeah, here also just try to run that, and then you just nicely you can get this answer for you. Then coming to that, the last part, the named entity recognition. Yeah, here we call for this chunk with that, and the chunk usually here called how you can just take this individual token, and these token can be just mapped with the named entity. Named entity according to this NLTK, it's a kind of the name of the person. I told you the Trump, that's the best example. And the location and company and the some date. I mean, the numerical values we can project more on this data also. Okay, suppose if I just store my corpus with some named entity for particular token. So whenever the user is just using that keyword on the searching pattern wherever, so that will get more weightage for that. Understand? More research work is actually going on for this named entity recognition. And here we have given one example, the Google's CEO Sundar Pichai introduced anyone. Even then, this is not the Google, it's Google is written. But the Google has been just it's trying to give the meaning for that. It is a kind of a noun value, something, some company like that thing. Okay. And the apostrophe S has been just taken that along with the plural format, the CEO, and then Sundar Pichai, and then the US, it will just to try to give that each of the token belongs to a normal English grammatical meaning plus this named entity. Okay. And coming to that, yes. Okay. So this is a part of that. You just see that the individual the representation of the word along with this named entity will be projected as a result for us. So we will just take one example. We are just reviewing that movie data set. Suppose movie data set is given to us, and how I can just review this data set as the positive as well as negative. I mean the kind of okay. So sentimental analysis here, first part, we are just downloading the movie reviews. This is the default available package for us. This is a complete corpus is available from the NLTK. I can just we can just use it for that. And just from the NLTK corpus, import this movie reviews. Okay, this is actually complete corpus, and it is just having this you see that this movie review set totally consists of 2000 text files are imposed in it. Understand? And if I'm just trying to just apply this NLTK concept, it will be easily done with that. What are the positive reviews? What are the negative reviews? It's a kind of a sentimental analysis. Okay. And if you just see this one, yeah, length of this movie field, we have 2000 text files are available for us. The text files are just given in this category, starting with I mean 1000 files are for the positive, and then the 1000 files for just given as a negative reviews. Okay, you can just fill this value also. You see, and we just printed the first 5 files, and then the last 5 files here. So we are just getting the result of the data distribution in the file. And simply we can just use this function negative and positive for this particular fields. We are just getting that the negative file ID. Yeah. Yes. Anything for me? Okay. So the negative information and the positive information we just separated here. And if you see this, actually the length of this files, how many files are there? Totally among the 2000, 1000 for the negative review and 1000 for that positive review. if I just try to print what is exactly available in one of the text file. So the first file we just type that. This is the input file. Understand? This the text file consists of something information like this. Understand? It is very horrible and it's very complex also. It's if you are just going to try with that normal reading the text and applying the mining, I mean the machine learning concept directly, we cannot just end up with so many execution phases and no result will come out of that. So that this situation lead us to create for this text analytics. So this is a kind of like a negative field, I mean the negative file examples is there. So how they just even this movie review is available in your NLTK library, isn't it? So this NLTK library created by some people in some manner, okay? So here he has just put out that he separated these files are having the negative review and something is having the positive review. And with the help of this, after this NLTK processing, it is very easy to find the result. For example, movie review words with that the positive field ID, they are just having some always having some tokens. These tokens, it is just fetching that. This is like a raw method, understand? Suppose if you are focusing on some master research or the PhD research, here we will not focus on this raw text, understand? We may just impose some model inside like advanced analytical methods to this outputted text, and from that text I can just move on to or we can just prepare our own corpus, and that corpus you can just come up with your own research, understand me? Yeah, so this is the positive and negative fields are there. And finally, this is a bag of word model, the usual procedure. The word model is actually like an unordered collection of words. That's the meaning of that. Okay, unordered collection of text. And we can just have this positive information as well as negative information. Sometimes the missing information will be there. So we just try to apply this normal cases like and the stop word removal. All the 7 steps we can just apply for that. But in this situation, we just I just tried that stop words and some punctuation symbol I removed. Okay, and we are just trying to call this the stop words for this English with the punctuation, everything. Then create this the bag of words. So the bag of words, it's like you can create your own function, and in this function you are just putting all the words of your input file. Okay, and each one will be just ended with a final bag of words for you. Understand? Whatever file I am just trying to pass it, it will just try to output the words present in the text. Okay, and you can just count that the frequency of the word for that particular movie file. Okay, you can filter it. So for word in the movie reviews words, if not word in that useless words, you just remove all this kind of thing and come to that the filtered words. So the filtered word type, if I am typing, it is a list category. The data structure, what it is imposed here is a list. Okay, and you can just move on to this collection, and then counter you can just go for and count with that, and then you try to find that the most important word according to this particular the first the 10th file. We are just getting that this particular keywords like a film has been presented 9,517 times. It was just presented in that one single text file. Understand? This is the meaning they have just given. And once you just done this review kind of processing, the end of your text analytics is a pipeline, isn't it? So for the pipeline, you can call for this the plot library and inline function. And here as we are using the Python, so pyplot, and you just give one user variable, and for this user variable you can go for your word count. Understand? So the word count, I think most of you, if you know Python already, you know these functions. It is just a kind of you just take this word counter values, and then from this where the list data structure, and then you just sort it. So the sorted count words will be presented in log form. What is this log form? As we said that this movie review consists of 2000 text file, isn't it? So the data set is very huge. So we cannot just focus this one on this, I mean the x-axis or the y-axis. So the particular, the sorted word count will be converted to the exponential format. So you see this diagram, the word bank is on the x-axis and the frequency is on the y-axis. And if you see that actually the scale of this chart, like 10 to the power of 0, 1, 2, 3, like that, it is going on. That's why it is just what, able to visualize some the pattern very correctly in the simple diagram, understand? But imagine you are just going to give that like what, like 1 lakh on the y-axis and 2 lakh on the x-axis. It's difficult to focus on that. That's why if you feel that your text data is just huge, use this log function for us to just put a effective information here. And for example, in this case, like word rank is on the x-axis and the frequency. So if you see this, what is the meaning of this graph? If the frequency count is actually what, very, very high, here the rank of this particular word is actually what, like very less, isn't it? So if you just go on to this word rank with the very high, word rank is like what, very high rank is there for a particular word, but it is just what, present in your text very less. That's the meaning. The frequency count is very less. So what is the ultimate meaning of this one? Our text file consists of the useful word very, very less. I mean, the word rank is actually, I mean, the important word present in this information text file is very, very less for that. So it may be lead actually, but further revision, we can just go for that, because the visualization is one of the technique for like making your data perfect always before applying this any advanced techniques for that. And coming to that, you can just go for like the histogram also. You can visualize your data. And for this one, you can just go for the sorted word counts and a number of bins. The bins will give you the range of your, I mean the x-axis range value. Okay. So here we have just given that nearly 40,000 frequency count and the word rank is given. But if you see that most of that like the words here like present here, but coming to that word rank, it is very less, understand? And another part we can just go for maybe the another version of the same like the previous graph. Here we are just putting that log is equal to true. Okay, so that implies it will just measure this y-axis value, the kind of logarithmic like scale. So in that situation, we can try to visualize our data in the perfect manner. At least somewhat we can just understand compared to the previous diagram. And move on to this, yeah, the important part. Sometimes most of the people are trying to create like the word cloud. So from this word cloud, at least we can just try to go for like the kind of words which is very highly ranked. For example, the film or the movie, and the film and movie is just a big text. That implies the rank is very high for this one. Okay. And another thing like they have just given with a different color, thick color, light color. So that implies like you are having the similar kind of a ranking for this word. So for this one, we just what I have given the simple code over here. Like you can create your own word cloud function if you want to just focus on more color, more text. So many formattings are available. And just to take this one, show that word cloud, and try to fix this like the property of your word cloud picture, I mean the figures. And then next to go for you are just plotting that one. You can fix your size of that graph, and the axis you can just make it on or off. Accordingly the label will be given for you. Then title you can just fix with that. These are like a default commands. You can copy paste it and you just try to give your data. That's it. Okay. And another part, yeah, this is the final output. If you are just showing that the word cloud, we are calling this function because we define the function here to show word cloud. So here the answer we got it for, because we filtered some words from the first text box. I mean the first text file of the movie. Okay, filtered text words. So same thing we are just passing to this word cloud function, and we just end up with this very nice diagram. And this diagram just speaks a lot with the text analytic people. Okay, So this is the end of our the session. We have like the covers the topic like tokenization, how to just to go for the frequency count. You can go for the stemming process, lemmatization, the stop words removal, then POS and named entity. Now these steps like 1 to 6. If you start with your research on this text analysis, then I mean your text data is a major source. These are the general process. But where you are differing in your research, either in this format like a POS structure or the named entity structure, okay? Because now like a kind of the social media kind of applications, developments are more and more going on. So the people need to know the text and what is the insight present in the text, whether it is a useful information or it is a not useful information, a kind of information they need it very, very quickly. Okay. If we are like proceeding towards the normal text processing and end with a normal process, it will take a time. So it is better to just go with that the latest thing, what is currently available. Because nowadays the people, we don't want to write more code, more program. Like we want to just spend little time on that, but we need more effort on that. Understand? So that like it is better to go with this NLTK toolkit. Like so many resources are available, packages are available. You can just nicely work with that, and then you can do the best research on your side. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your listening. If there is any query, yes, I just query session is open for you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, it was extremely informative and knowledgeable, ma'am.
Yeah.
Really, it was very easy to understand and very interesting, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Good.
Participants, any queries? Participants, could you give some feedback?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I'm Professor Shiva from Kadar College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Ma'am, I may be a non-commerce stream, but the way you deliberated your presentation was quite amazing, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the session, ma'am.
Okay, okay, welcome. Yeah, if there is any further query or anything, you can please, all of you, you can contact me in my email. Yeah, already given with Dr. Sendil. Yeah, you can just contact her also. You can contact me directly. Yes, as your wish. So wherever you need something research related work related to the text analytics, yes, I am happy to work with you.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now call upon Dr. A. Krishnaveni to present feedback for this session. Over to you, Krishnaveni.
All very positive. Dr. M. Anandavalli, Associate Professor, is a very well presenter of today's workshop with an excellent balance of information, practice, and interaction. By the end of this workshop, we have understood how to find text to analyze, pre-process our text for analysis, analyze our text, create visualizations. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing these techniques. I thank all the participants for listening, and I hope it will help us in future. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Krishnaveni. Now I would like to call upon Ms. Reena Berwin to propose vote of thanks. Over to you.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, Reena.
Oh, thank you. Assalamu alaikum and very good evening to all. On behalf of the management, principal and faculty members of Computer Science Department, Dasim Bibi Abdul Qadir College for Women, Kilakarai. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this one-day workshop on text analytics using Python Natural Language Toolkit. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty for making today's occasion a resounding success. Next, I take an immense pleasure in extending my sincere thanks to our principal, Dr. S. Sumaya, for her continuous support in all our activities. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. M.S. Irfan Ahmad, Director, Research and Industry Institute Relations, who has been the driving force behind this whole process. Thank you, sir. Next, my heartfelt thanks to Dr. P. Sendil Kumari, Head in Charge, Department of Computer Science, for her guidance and appreciation in all our academic matters. Thank you, ma'am. I am very much thankful to our today's resource person, Dr. M. Anandavalli, Associate Professor, College of Computer Science, King Khalid University, Saudi Arabia, for spending her valuable time with us. Today's section is very useful and informative to us. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
am happy to express my thanks to our department faculty members for their moral support and guidance. Thank you, staff. Finally, I would like to convey my deep gratitude to all the active participants of this workshop for their presence and contribution to make this a great success. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Reena Berwin. Now we have come to the end of our webinar workshop. I would like to thank everyone who made this workshop more successful. I thank our resource person for her excellent presentation. Thank you all once again.
Excuse me, when is the feedback link posted?
So it will be
shared in the WhatsApp group, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Nice of you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ibrahim, do you have any queries? Please unmute your mic.
Hello, Sandil. Hello.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Anandavalli. You have given a wonderful and informative session for this workshop. Thank you very much.
Hopefully, I've done well. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
you have done well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Feedback form will be given in the WhatsApp group. You can fill. Thank you, one and all. You may leave.